Hey, Dion, Vincent here. How you doing? Driving around, do a little thing, and I had something interesting happen to me. I had 3 people say to me today, Jesus loves you. 3 separate occasions, 3 separate people. So it got me to thinking, what does that mean? Jesus loves you. Or maybe I should say, it got me thinking that how to know that Jesus loves you. How would you know that? You know, it says it in the Bible, and people say it in various ways, and all the different mediums that we use to communicate, social media, letters, just all kind of ways that people tell us Jesus loves you. I mean, you could do a search on Google, and it's going to be millions upon millions of times that comes up. So it's not hard to find that. It's not hard to get that message. Okay? It's not hard at all to get that message. But as I said, how do you know? Other than, people telling you. How do you know? Wow, look at that sun. Well, we'll get away from the sun in just a second here. Maybe not. What can I do? Put my hand up there? Aha. Anyway, how do you know that Jesus loves you? Is there a way to know that Jesus loves you? Is there a way to know if anyone loves you? Is there a way to know that? Because if there's no way to know that Jesus loves you, or anyone loves you for that matter, if there's no way to know, then it's just words, right? It's just words. So how do you know Jesus loves you? Or how do you know your parents love you? How to know your siblings love you? How to know your aunts and uncles love you? How to know your grandparents love you? How to know your close friends love you? How to know if you even love yourself? How do you know you love yourself? Because if all these people love you, and yet you don't love yourself, what kind of life are you going to have? Yeah, you got to ask yourself, how do you know? How do you know you love yourself? How do you know anyone loves you? How do you know that? Well, there's a few ways that you can know if you love yourself. Or there's a few ways to know if anyone loves you. And it has to go deeper than just mere words, right? Because, talk is cheap. And every instance of the word, talk is cheap. Right? So, let me know. How can I know? I want to know who loves me. How can I know that they love me? How can I know? Well, as I said, it has to go beyond mere words. But there has to be a few things, especially to know if you love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to have a good life. You know, everybody could give you everything that you've ever wanted. But if you don't love yourself, you'll never have the feeling of deep appreciation, deep joy, deep gratitude, all those things. So if you don't love yourself, your life is a waste. If you don't love yourself, you're wasting your life. No matter what you accomplish, it'll always be hollow. You'll never feel fulfilled or satisfied because you don't have that basic thing, which is to love yourself. You gotta have that basic thing, to love yourself, right? No matter what you do in life, because frankly, the world is full of people who don't love themselves. They go to work every day, pay their bills every day, they support their family, go to church. They even say Jesus loves you. But yet they don't love themselves. That's what I want to talk to you today. About how to know you love yourself and what you can start doing to love yourself if you don't love yourself. And this is going to require some introspection, some deep thinking, some brutal honesty with yourself. Because you know what? Brutal honesty is a hard skill to master. I would say at least 90% of the world's population is not usually brutally honest with themselves. I mean, sure, you can be honest here and there, and you can be honest about things that don't really matter. You can have an opinion about things, but when it comes to brutal honesty with yourself, about your life, hey, said it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard skill to master. It's a hard skill to even endeavor. It's a hard thing to do, right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Being honest with yourself is hard. Being brutally honest is even harder. Hence the word brutally. Seriously though, you're gonna have to be brutally honest with yourself and find out if you really love yourself. Because there's a difference between loving yourself and wanting to survive. I think the wanting to survive is just a natural instinct. If a car is coming at you, you're gonna jump out of the way. That's just instinct, self-preservation. It's not love, necessarily. It's just instinct. The self-preservation gene, you know, it's in all of our brains. Speaking of brains, the subconscious is only one goal. It's not to make you happy. It's not to make you successful. It's not even to make you unhappy. Its only goal is to keep you alive. Now, there's an aspect of that I'm researching, and I'm going to get more information But it also appears that your subconscious mind also has a function of procrastination. And the real goal of procrastination, people say that we're motivated by pain and pleasure. Move toward pain, and well, I don't know, maybe some of y'all move away from pain and move toward pleasure. Some people, those are two drivers. But like I said, I'm doing some more research, and it appears that the goal of your subconscious mind by way of procrastination is just simply to keep you comfortable. It's whatever you're procrastinating on, either directly or indirectly or subconsciously or consciously, whatever it is you're procrastinating on, you're procrastinating on it because it makes you uncomfortable in some way. So that's another thing we have to discuss, but that's for another time. Back to the how to know you love yourself. Number one, you have high regard for yourself. You have high regard for yourself. High self-esteem. You know you're not perfect, but you believe that you are worthy of whatever you want to do with your life. That's high self-esteem. You are worthy and deserving. Because let's face it, people say, I don't do this or I don't do that because I don't feel worthy. And that's kind of a vague way of saying that they don't believe in themselves. Or it could be specific, saying they haven't, I hope you heard the phrase, put in the work to be successful or paid their dues to be successful. Some people could mean that, but usually it means I don't feel like I'm worth that. Or whatever it is, I don't feel I'm worth that. I don't have high self-esteem. That's usually what they mean when they don't feel worthy. So if you love yourself, you feel worthy. And you feel worthy not because of any circumstance, like putting in your the long hours, or putting in your dues, or paying your dues, I should say. Putting in the work. Self-worth has nothing, being worthy has nothing to do with any of those. Because we all know that there are people that are successful without putting in the work or without paying the dues. It's not fair, but there's an aspect of life that fairness is an illusion sometimes. So, we can use that to our advantage. I like to say all the time that life is not fair, and that can be a good thing. I like to say it is a good thing. It definitely can be a good thing, because you can leapfrog over somebody that's been working on the same goal for longer than you have, but you get further quicker. Because life's not fair. If it were, we all would put in the 10,000 hours to be successful. Some people don't put in 10,000 hours. So that's one way you love yourself, if you have high regard for yourself. Another way you know that you love yourself is you are kind to yourself. You tell yourself the truth, brutal honesty, but you also taper it with kindness. You don't just harp, what's wrong with you. You admit what's wrong with you, but you don't harp on it, and you work on it. But you don't just tear yourself down about it. You're honest about it, but not tearing yourself down. That's what I mean when I say be kind to yourself. You know, you recognize your limitations and strive for growth in a positive manner, not in a belittling of yourself manner. You know, those are ways you know you love yourself. Another way you know you love yourself is if you're happy being with people and also happy being alone. You don't need the company of others to be happy. I know you know these people, and you might be one yourself, that they can't stand to be alone. And it could be a million reasons why. Insecurity, fear of the unknown, but most likely it's because they don't want to be alone with their own thoughts. They won't have any distraction, anything to distract them from their thoughts. Because that's a big part of life for a lot of people, is finding ways to distract themselves from their own thoughts. Usually about themselves, about their life, but it really boils down to thoughts about themselves. So those are ways to know that you love yourself. You're kind to yourself. You have high regard to yourself. And you like yourself. You like being alone with yourself. You don't have to have other people. Another way you know you love yourself is if you take care of yourself. And I know that's very vague and loaded, but the gist of it is you do what's necessary to maintain a quality of life. Whether you make sure you have adequate housing, adequate transportation, adequate employment, adequate money coming in, things like that. You take care of yourself. You don't allow yourself to get into situations where you're not being taken care of by yourself. Those are the 4 ways you know you love yourself. Okay, let me say those again. Those are 4 ways you know you love yourself, or if anyone loves you. Depending on the relationship, they have to do those things. Okay? And the only one that it depends on the relationship is to take care of you. Or should I say, yeah, they take care of you, but it doesn't have to be a material way or anything like that. They give good advice. They listen to you. They let you voice your concerns. That's a way of taking care of you. Okay? But anybody, including yourself, and especially yourself, do those 4 things. Now you have high regard for yourself. You're kind to yourself. You spend time with yourself and are happy to spend time with yourself. And you take care of yourself. And those are 4 ways you know someone loves you, including, and as I said, especially and most importantly, yourself. That's how you know you love yourself. Okay? Taking care of yourself can be more than just, roof over your head and food on the plate. It can also be taking yourself out to a movie by yourself, for yourself. Your own play date with yourself. I don't know if you like that term play date. It's kind of, I don't know. But in other words, you do things for yourself to enjoy your life. You don't have to go with somebody to go to an expensive restaurant to enjoy the meal. Or go to a movie. Or go to botanical gardens. Things like that. Museums. You don't have to go with people. You can go with yourself. And if nobody goes, you make time for yourself to go yourself. To enjoy your life. And those are the 4 ways that you know you love yourself. Let me say them again, okay? You have high regard for yourself. In other words, you feel worthy and deserving. And let's face it, being worthy or unworthy is really just your own thoughts. There's no real criteria of being worthy. It's either you think you are or you think you aren't. There's no real status that says that makes you worthy. In certain instances, yes. But before those status can be realized by you, you still have to believe you're worthy in your own mind before you even start, because that's the only thing that would make you start in the first place. Okay? Well, you're worthy and deserving of all that you want in life. That's high regard. You're worthy and deserving. Worthy and deserving of all that you want. You can have it. You deserve to have it. No matter what it is. You'll work for it, but you'll get it. Okay, so let me say these four. So I really want them to drill into your mind. And write in the comments below if you have all four of those things, or if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer and maybe point you in the right direction. Okay? Number one, you have high regard for yourself. You feel worthy and deserving of all that you want and all that you have. For some people, a lot of famous people become alcoholics, or a lot of rich people, and or rich people, I should say, become alcoholics or drug addicts because they get this level of fame, or they're born into this level of wealth, and they don't feel worthy and deserving. So they turn to drugs and or alcohol to mask those pains or feelings of inadequacy or undeservingness or unworthiness. It happens to a lot of famous people. Hasn't happened to me yet. Well, let's not say yet. I don't want it to happen to me at all. But yeah, that's why a lot of people become alcoholics and or drug addicts when they become famous. They feel they don't deserve it. For whatever reason, maybe they feel they haven't paid their dues, or maybe they're not as talented as somebody else that is a lot less successful, or isn't even successful. Things like that. And also number two is you spend quality time with yourself. You like spending quality time with yourself. Number three is you're kind to yourself. Kind to yourself in every way possible. You're not shirking responsibility or not being honest, but you do everything towards yourself in a kind manner. That's another hard one for people to do, is to be kind to themselves. Because half the time, we would never say to other people about them what we say to ourselves about ourselves. So yes, definitely want to be kind to yourself. The way you talk to yourself, the way you look at yourself, the way you evaluate yourself, in your actions. You want to be kind to yourself. Be kind and firm and all those things. But you definitely still want to be kind. And you know if you're being kind to yourself. Just like these four things, you know ultimately, deep down, if you're doing them. And to what degree you need to improve, or what degree you're doing them in the first place. And number four is you take care of yourself. Those four things. So do you do those four things? Do you have high regard for yourself? Meaning you feel worthy and deserving of any and everything that you want and have. Number two, do you like being alone with yourself? Number three, Are you kind to yourself? And number four is, do you take care of yourself? And you know, if you do those things, those four things, I hope you do. I hope you do. And if not, you can start doing those things. Yep, you can start doing those things. It's Dion, Vincent. I hope you got a lot out of this. And start learning to love yourself. Alright? And I will holler at you. I will holler at you later. Alright? Peace.